In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I blend pork with venison to create ground venison that cooks great, has a mild flavor, but still keeps the venison flavor that we all want. If you ever cook ground venison that turned out super dry, crumbly, or maybe a little bit too strong of a flavor, this process will fix that. Before I even go into the woods, I like to think about what I'm going to do with my harvest. Not just going out to hunt, but what am I actually going to do with the meat once it's in the freezer. Last year, we completely ran out of ground venison. With burgers, chili, tacos, it all went fast. So this season, I knew that the first couple of deer that I harvested were going straight to the grinder. I know this might be a controversial take, but I grind the whole deer, backstrap and all. This is my choice, and you have to do what works best for you and your family with the deer that you've harvested. There's no right or wrong answer. If you look around or ask around, everyone's going to get your own take, but certainly do what works best for you. For me, ground venison is one of the best ways I like to process deer. It's great for quick meals, for feeding a crowd, for stretching your harvest throughout the year. So that's why at the beginning of every season, I prioritize harvesting enough deer so that I make sure that I have ground meat to last me through to next season. I've been using a Cabela's Pro Series DC grinder for about 10 years now. I'm not sponsored by them. You don't have to use them. You just have to find one that works for you. I know people who still use the old school hand grinder to grind their venison, and that works perfectly fine. When it comes to processing your deer, consistency matters more than what brand that you use to make sure you get what you want out of the deer. Before we even start talking about pork to venison ratios, I feel that the most important thing is to start with clean meat. In one of my previous videos, and I'll post it here, I talked about how I age my venison, and I think that makes a huge difference in how the venison tastes, how tender it is, and it's very important to do, I think, no matter what you do with your venison. But with the grinding part, along with aging the venison, I make sure that I cut out anything white, basically, the silver skin, any muscles, any fat. I cut all of that out so that I'm left with just clean meat, chunks of meat. Some people like to grind a little bit of the connective tissue in there. I cut all of that out. I may end up losing some meat, but I'd rather have that clean meat than to have anything in my grind. As you all know, venison is a very lean meat, so adding pork actually helps with the cooking process. It provides fat for the meat. I prefer using a pork shoulder or the pork butt, and remember, you're not covering up the venison. You're actually just making it, adding the fat content so that it cooks, again, better, it doesn't dry out on you, and you still have the venison flavor ultimately at the end. Over the years, I've moved toward using a 70-30 blend or 70-30 ratio. So 70% venison, 30% of the pork, or the pork shoulder or pork butt. And that gives me meat that really browns nicely. It stays juicy. But again, try different ratios. If you want a milder flavor, if your family prefers a milder flavor, you can bump up the pork ratio. If you want a stronger, more venison flavor, then you can actually reduce that ratio. It's completely up to you. Another key point that I think sometimes gets overlooked is when you start to grind, everything should be cold. So your meat should be cold, your grinder part should be cold, your auger, your blades, all of that should be cold. And what that does, it just makes the process so much easier. The meat goes through the grinder easier. The product mixes better, I think, if everything is cold. And it actually makes, in my opinion, makes for easier cleanup as well. And I think this one tip dramatically improves the results of your grinding. I start with a coarse grind, mixing the pork fat and the venison as evenly as possible. Once I've done the coarse grind, I will grind again with a finer plate. Sometimes I may even do a third grind with the finer plate. And that's just to make sure that in case I did miss any of the connective tissue or anything like that, it breaks all of that down so that when you do have your final product, you're not biting into something that might be stringy or chewy. Also, with that finer grind, it actually just makes sure that all your fat and the venison is mixed evenly. And what you end up with is ground venison that cooks great, is very juicy, but yet it still tastes like venison because it is venison. If any of this information helped you out, please remember to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. It helps the channel. Drop a comment below and let me know how you grind your venison, what ratios you use, what you find best, what you have found best after you've experimented for a while, and what you and your family enjoy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If any of this information help you out, yo, you be helping you out. Until next time. No, not until next time. What should be my tag ending? Keep hunting. No, Venison Ventures.
Until the next venture. No, if it's made fishing cheesy. Don't make one.
Don't make one? Well,
you have to stay natural,
stay true to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it for the gram.
Yeah.